Good morning. Hi there. My name is Carolina, and if we haven't met before, and I'm a life coach that helps women reevaluate the role of alcohol in their lives and through that process go on a journey of personal growth and discover what truly makes them happy in the world. I love poising the alcohol free lifestyle as an avenue of wellness and personal growth instead of this stigma or this thing that you have to do. Because it really is such an opportunity to live a lifestyle that you've never lived before. And to see it as, there's only data in your life. And if you've only lived a life where alcohol is always present, then you never know what it feels like to live a life without alcohol. And I truly believe that everyone deserves to give themselves the gift of experiencing that, even if it's just a break, even if it's a short break, because they've actually found that when people who take an extended break from alcohol, upwards of 80% decide not to go back. I mean, there's so much goodness in this lifestyle. And I know it also comes with a lot of navigating. I know that living in a booze-centric world is not easy. So even as you're embarking on an alcohol-free lifestyle, as you're taking breaks and or, even coming on months and years of not drinking, it's really still hard to navigate the real world because the real world is like rosé all day, it's so booze centric. And I know that the most common ways of socializing and even fitting in and belonging are in these booze centric circles because we socialize with our friends and go to parties and go to birthday parties and all this stuff, and it all revolves a little bit around booze. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that was brought to me as a question by so many people over the last few weeks. And it's feeling like the odd one out when you're not drinking. And boy, can that be true. Because if everyone's drinking around you, if you go and immerse yourself into a situation where everyone's drinking around you, it does feel like you're the odd one out, right? And it feels like you're on a different wavelength than all these other people around you. And I want to give you the best tips to be able to handle these kind of situations because you can't just avoid them. I mean, sometimes they recommend like completely extract yourself out of those kind of situations and stay home and all that stuff. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to be with your friends and have fun and like enjoy a thriving social life and not feel like the odd one out. And I'm going to give you some mindset tips to really help understand like what's underneath the feeling of feeling like the odd one out and how you can combat it with different perspective shifts and also like expanding your social life. So when you feel like the odd one out, so oftentimes there's also a sense of FOMO that comes with that. And if you haven't heard of, it's such a popular term now, but if you don't know what FOMO is, it's the fear of missing out. So when you hold alcohol on this pedestal and say, drinking is so fun, everyone gets to do it but me, you're gonna feel the fear of missing out. You're gonna feel FOMO. But the thing that you're missing is it's not the drinking that is, or not drinking that's actually making you feel that way. It's your thoughts about drinking. Because I don't feel that way about not drinking. And I know a ton of people who don't feel FOMO about not drinking because they've changed the thoughts that they have around alcohol in the first place. When you change the thoughts you have around alcohol, you can actually come to completely undesire it, to not even want it in your life. Like, for example, I don't smoke cigarettes, and I used to socially smoke when I was younger, and I don't ever feel FOMO that I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm pretty confident in my decision to not do that, and I feel pretty happy about it. I'm never like, oh, I wish I could just smoke some cigarettes, because that's not appealing to me anymore. I don't have any desire for it. I don't see any benefits with it. And like, can you imagine getting to the same kind of place with alcohol where you don't see any benefits with it and that you actually lose your desire? When you lose your desire, this whole fear of missing out, it vanishes because there's no illusion of alcohol anymore. You see it for what it really is, and it's just as appealing to you as drinking literally motor oil or car fuel, because that's what ethanol is, and you see it for what it really is. But when you feel the fear of missing out, FOMO, first of all, I want you to start thinking about it as JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. I think that as a society, what we do so horribly wrong with alcohol is we slice off one little part of the experience. We slice off the first 20 minutes after a drink, and that's what drinking feels like. And all the other shit that comes with it is somehow not in our minds connected with alcohol. So you think of alcohol as this amazing thing that makes you feel good for 20 minutes and you're relaxed and you're having fun and you're buzzy, and you're completely disconnected with the rest of the experience. And let me tell you about the rest of the experience. What does it look like? Drinking more, waking up feeling like shit, not sleeping well, saying the like stupid stuff, having wine teeth, like not feeling like you're living integrity with your values, feeling like your health goals are always like going down, feeling like you never work out because you don't feel up to it in the morning, feeling like you're always spending the next day eating fast food. Like there's a whole gamut of the experience that happens when we introduce alcohol into our lives, and yet for some reason we discount all that bad stuff and we think, oh, it's just 20 minutes. I love those 20 minutes of the buzz. You know, sometimes like I think we learn in life that little short-term pleasures with horrible consequences are just not what true fulfillment looks like. They're not what true contentment looks like. True contentment is a long-term game, and your long-term contentment is so much more important than like a momentary buzz. And when you can start looking at it like that, you can start feeling the joy of missing out and the joy of, oh my God, I don't have to be hungover. Like I can go out and socialize and have fun with my friends and I don't have to be hungover tomorrow. What an idea, you know? I mean, who told us in society that the only way to socialize also comes with headaches the next day? Like it's kind of insane when you like parse it out like that. So when you start to feel the joy of missing out, you can start to associate all the negative side effects that come with alcohol and start to bring them back to the experience and say, I will sleep well tonight. I will not be hungover tomorrow. I will not live my life out of integrity. I will wake up feeling incredible self-esteem and proud of myself that I didn't drink. All of these things because you're actually looking at the entire experience of drinking alcohol. And here's what can happen too, and I want you to get there if you're not already there. When you're in a situation you feel like left out because everyone's drinking around you, I want you to start imagining what all those people are going to feel like the next day. Seriously, imagine it for yourself when you see people having like their third or fourth glass of wine. I wonder how they're going to sleep tonight. I wonder how they're going to feel tomorrow morning. And I don't want you to do it from a place of judgment. I want you to do it from a place of like, well, it feels pretty good to be me. It feels pretty good to be not drinking because I don't have to put myself through that shit show that I've already like experienced for decades in my life. I not only know better, but I like want better for myself now. And it's a self-love kind of commitment that you can give yourself. So let yourself feel smug. Let yourself feel like I can go out with my friends in any social situation that involves drinking and go on a run the next day. Like who can say that? Who can say that after like a birthday party on a Friday night, most people can get up and wake up and run like 4 miles the next day at 6 a.m. Who can do that? You get to have it all. Like you get to have it all. You get to have a fun social life. You get to have the fulfilling physical and mental health. You get to have it all, really. And so I want you to start thinking, even like get a little smug about it when you see other people drinking around you. Like you know something they don't. And I just want to stop and say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Leanne. It's always so good to see you. Thank you all for being here. So I'm talking today about feeling like the odd one out when you're not drinking and you live in a booze-centric society. And that's just kind of the way it is right now, in time right now. But things are already changing. They're already getting so many different stats and like statistics about how younger people are starting to have more options and not go for these crazy booze-centric socializing things. There's sober raves, there's mocktail bars, there's this idea that you do not have to drink a poison just to socialize, and you do not have to have like hangovers as a side effect of a healthy social life, right? So like we're starting to already change the paradigm. And so just because like the paradigm feels really strong that it's booze-centric, like know that it doesn't have to be that way, and it's not something that is a reality that has to be played upon you. So also when you feel left out, I think another incredible mindset shift is to think of yourself like a vegetarian. So I don't know about you, but when I think of vegetarians, one, I think that they choose their lifestyle. I think like I try to eat mostly plant-based. I'm not 100% vegetarian, but maybe like 80%. And I feel like they choose their lifestyle, right? They choose their lifestyle because one, they probably associate more health and vitality and longevity from it, right? They probably believe that eating this way is making them not only feel better in the short term, but also giving them years of lifespan back. Two, they might have like ethical reasons why they don't eat meat, and that is also a very like proud choice, right? Like I'm so proud to be living my ethics every day by being vegetarian. So when you are a vegetarian, and I want you to think of the same way as an alcohol-free lifestyle, do you think a vegetarian goes to like a barbecue and is like, shucks, I can't eat all this meat. That sucks to be me. It really sucks to be me. I can't eat all the meat. Everyone gets to eat the meat, but I don't. That sucks. No, of course not. They love being vegetarian. They made that choice because they like that lifestyle. And they actually feel bad for all the people probably eating the meat because they know something everyone else doesn't. And they live in a different kind of alignment with their own values and code of like health or whatever it is for whatever reason than everyone else. They're so proud of their choices because they're aligned with their values, and they don't go around missing meat. They don't go around thinking, oh, I wish I could eat meat at the barbecue. Like, it's an empowering choice, right? And I want you to start thinking about the alcohol-free lifestyles the same way. And I want you to start thinking too, like, just because you're alcohol-free doesn't mean you can't go out into those same social circles. Like, vegetarians don't say, no, sorry, I can't go to the barbecue. No, sorry, like, it'd be so weird if I go because I'm gonna eat salad and everyone's gonna be eating, like, the chicken drumsticks. They don't think that way. Like, we can invite in all kinds of different eating habits into our, like, dining social lifestyles, right? Does it really matter what's on people's plates? Does it really matter that someone's eating a salad and someone's eating a chicken drumstick? Do you think the vegetarian's going like, oh my god, everybody's looking at me, I'm eating a salad, everyone else is eating ribs, oh my gosh, they're all looking at me, they all think I'm like crazy, they must have think I had some kind of meat, but like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't go like that. And I know that the historical approach of alcohol has been totally different, and it's not completely, you can't like completely like say it's the same kind of scenario because of our historical approach of alcohol. But when you really take like 50 steps back from this, literally what's in your drink, like what's in your cup, why should that matter? Why should that matter? Why should you feel left out because some people have something different in their cup than what you have? And why should you feel like people are judging you because of what's in your cup versus what's in other people's cups? Do we do that with food? Do we really judge people who are eating a salad and that person's eating ribs? No, of course not, right? We have like all these different like health lifestyles and diets nowadays. You could be gluten-free, you could be dairy-free, you could not eat meat, you could not eat sugar. All of that stuff is acceptable to us, and we understand that people have different like preferences with what they eat. So like, why would we ever feel like it's not okay to actually choose what you ingest with what you drink, and that somehow you're like the odd one out because there's something different in your cup than other people? And like nowadays with mocktails and non-alcoholic drinks and just literally all the drinks, like there's so many non-alcoholic drinks on the market, like you have something in your cup. It's not like you're standing there like sitting at the wall with nothing. Like you could bring something, you could order something. So like seriously, when you start to get super like objective about it, take like 20 steps back. You have to ask yourself, like, does it really matter what liquid's in my cup compared to what liquid's in their cup? And like really start to adopt the mentality of the vegetarian, because you're not embarking on this alcohol-free lifestyle because someone dragged you here. Like, you're choosing it. You're choosing it because it makes you feel better. You're choosing it because it's more aligned with your values and your goals in your life. And I know it's going to feel like you're the odd one out sometimes. Of course it is, because you are. But like, you have to start shifting your mindset to be okay with that and proud of that. Vegetarians are very proud of their eating choices. They are. They're very proud of it. So you need to be just as proud about what you choose or choose not to ingest in your beverage, and be really proud about the alcohol-free lifestyle. So I hope that is helpful. Next, I do want to have a caveat here. When people are drinking around you, their energy changes, they get drunker, they start slurring, and you don't. You have your wits about you. You are clear-headed. And sometimes it does feel very odd to be in a room with people who are drunk. And I'm not gonna lie, like, that's not fun. That's not fun, because it literally isn't fun. It's not because you're not drinking that it's not fun. That is not a fun scenario. They actually have studies that show that we are more attracted to people who are sober, like that aren't drinking in the moment, than we are to people who are like drinking or drunk. Like, is it attractive to be slurring and to talk nonsensically and to like keep repeating yourself and to keep talking about yourself? None of that's attractive, right? So like we prefer to engage with people who actually have their wits about them. So when you're in a scenario where everyone's drunk and you're not, I need to tell you, like, that doesn't have to feel fun for you anymore. And you can get, I think, a little bit more creative about how you do spend your social time. Now, I'm not saying like you can't go to the bachelorette party, you can't go to the bar with your friends, you can't do that stuff, but you need to start injecting other activities into your social life. Because if the only time you see your girlfriends is over drinks, you might feel like you don't have that same like whatever is happening, that drunken energy that they have, and you feel like different, and that might be completely true and valid. But you need to be creative to then ask to yourself, like, can we do other things together? And can I be the one to like invite people to do different things with me? Like, is that so crazy? I mean, I don't know your social situation, but if we're talking like your good best friends, like your 3 or 4 best friends, I know you guys have something more in common than drinking. I know you love them for other reasons. I know you love them because they're funny and they make you laugh and you can share your deepest, darkest with them, and you guys both love yoga and all these different things. There's so much more you have in common. You guys both love dogs. So you need to also get creative about expanding the different social activities that you have in your life, because if the only socializing you do is in this booze-centric places, it's always going to feel like socializing isn't as fun for you if that's not working out and everyone's drunk. So you need to be very intentional about inviting your friends and your network to do other activities. Like, if your friends love dogs, if that's what like you guys bond over, then invite them to go to the dog park, invite them to go on dog walks, invite them to go hiking, invite them to go do different activities. Like, get creative so that not the only time you spend with your friends is always these boozing situations. And I'm sure like it might feel awkward at first, but like if they're your really good friends, like they'll rise to the occasion. Why wouldn't they want to go on a hike with you? Like, why not? And you can find that you can bond in a completely different way. So when you feel like the odd one out, remember to turn FOMO to JOMO. Remember to act like a vegetarian, be super proud of your lifestyle, and start expanding the kind of social occasions that you invite in your life. Because you need more than just the boozy ones. And I'm not saying you can't attend the boozy ones with the mocktail. I'm giving you ideas to be able to be okay in those situations too. But you also need to like fulfill your needs with authentic connection in these other kind of scenarios, okay? And then fourth, I want you to also expand your sphere. So if you have a certain network of friends or a certain, lifestyle of people around you that had similar drinking lifestyles, I want you to invite in more people into your life. I really do, because I'm not saying you need to leave your drinking friends behind. I'm not saying you have to disown anyone. I'm just saying that like inviting other people who are on the same wavelength as you and who are focusing on their growth over staying stuck in bad habits and who are really invested in growing themselves, whatever that looks like, will feed your soul and will lift you up and support you in ways that you could never even imagine. So if your 4 best friends are super into drinking and going out on Friday and Saturday nights, could you maybe invite in and start maybe talking to another friend that you find in another either like alcohol-free space or growth-oriented space, and then start maybe talking to them more and hanging out with them more. And so you don't have to leave your 4 friends behind, but you also invite in more friends. So you have the support all around you and you have more people who identify both like and support your growth. And first of all, I think that in the alcohol-free space, you'll find so many of that. Like, people in the alcohol-free space love meeting each other. They love making friends. And there's almost in every city nowadays, in every big city, you could go to meetup.com and find like sober socializing groups. Like, they're there. And if you're not doing that and you're hungry for that, then that's on you. You have to put yourself out there. You have to find those groups and you have to go put yourself out there and meet new people that way. There's also so many different online spaces, like just being part of this Instagram and this Facebook group. Like, there's all these people around the world that you can start talking to virtually. And there's so many different other places you can get creative about finding growth-minded individuals. For example, whether or not someone becomes a close friend or not with me, it has no bearing on whether they drink alcohol or not. Like, that's not important to me. But what is important to me is that alcohol doesn't play a huge role and is a huge downer in their life, and they're stuck and they're not growth-oriented and they're just like a downer and not on this growth-oriented path. That's not the kind of friendships I'm looking for in my life right now. I'm looking for people who want more and they want growth and they love learning and they love like becoming better versions of themselves. And so, yeah, I find those people in alcohol-free spaces, but I can also find them in personal growth spaces, and I can find them in health spaces and yoga spaces and meditation, mindfulness spaces. Like, there's so many creative ideas to find people who are on a similar wavelength of you, who want more out of life and want to improve themselves instead of stay stuck. So there's so many ways that you could, again, put yourself out there, expand your sphere, and have different people supporting in your life, so it doesn't just feel like the drinking is the one common social bond and activity that people have around you. And I remember like people used to say this a lot, you know, like, you have to expand your network, you have to meet people who are on the same wavelength and growth minded with you. And I was always kind of like, well, how do you do that, you know? And you won't know how to do it until you put yourself out there. Go to a meetup, talk to someone online, go to a personal growth seminar. Like, there's so many different ideas. Go on a retreat. Like, you can make friends in so many different places. And I know it seems like, well, then what? Like, how do I actually foster a friendship? But it is possible, and you just have to put yourself out there to start. And I will tell you a story. I share it all the time. I went out, I think my 3rd or 4th month alcohol-free. I joined a meetup. And the very first day I met my future bestie, Danielle. Now we have a podcast together. And we're such great friends. Our partners are friends. We just hung out last Saturday, and we hung out, just like us and our partners were drinking some beers, and we were just having mocktails. And the way that I felt hanging out with people who really support me and I love, it almost felt like I was buzzed. Like, the energy I get from people who are growth minded makes me feel buzzed. I don't need an artificial stimulus to feel that way when I surround myself with people who make me feel that way naturally. And not everyone will make you feel like that. Some people will drain you, and that's up to you to decide, how do I conserve my energy? Where do I put it? Do I give it to the people who drain me or to the people who lift me up and actually make me feel buzzed on life? And those people are out there, I promise you, and you might even find them with your good girlfriends that you drink with or you drink with. Maybe it's just a matter of shifting your relationships and having different activities that you guys do together, you know? So when you feel like the odd one out, I hope some of those perspective shifts were helpful. I know it's not easy at first because we do live in such a boost-centric society, but it's really up to you to become so much more intentional about the spaces that you create for yourself. So when you are in spaces that are heavy drinking, I just want you to remind yourself to feel joy of missing out instead of fear of missing out, and feel smug. Literally feel smug that you're not going to have a hangover the next day, and feel bad for the people that are, and not in a judgy way, but just yeah, it's kind of cool that I'm here and I can talk to people and I can have a nice time, and I'm not going to be hungover tomorrow, and I'm going to wake up feeling amazing, and then I'm going to go do all this awesome stuff with my time. I'm not going to waste it. So feel that joy. Let yourself really feel it. Act like a vegetarian. Be proud of your lifestyle. Don't let people judge you or make you feel like you're being judged by what's in your glass. Nobody cares what we eat. Nobody should care what you drink, and you shouldn't feel left out because something in your cup is different from what is in someone else's cup, you know? Third, I want you to get creative with the social circles you already inhabit and start inviting your friends to do different things. Shift your relationships. Ask to go on hikes with them. Ask to go to yoga with them. Ask to bond in different ways that don't just revolve around alcohol. And fourth, I want you to expand your social circle and start finding more like-minded people and get yourself out there. Go to meetups. Go to different places where you might find like-minded people depending on your interests. I don't know what those are. Maybe it's climbing mountains. Maybe it's mountaineering. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's alcohol-free lifestyle. Maybe it's book clubs. I don't know what it is, but find people that are like-minded, that support your growth, and you are on the same wavelength on. And I think start with the alcohol-free spaces, because that's a no-brainer that those people will support your new lifestyle. So I hope those tips were helpful. I'm so grateful for everybody that joined. It was such a pleasure to share this, and I know on the outset that feeling left out is very normal because you are doing something different from other people, but you also have to take great pride in that. Independent thinkers, that's who you are, that you're an independent thinker. You're not a sheep. You are a lone wolf that is carving out a new way, and you're finding all these other wolves that are coming along the journey with you. They're out there. You just have to be intentional to find them. So I hope that was helpful. It's so good to have you here with me. Thank you so much for joining. And if you ever have a question on both taking a break from alcohol or navigating life alcohol-free, please ask me, because this is what I'm here for, to kind of help work through these kind of blocks that we have about going after our biggest, best life. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 a.m. This is the regular time I'm here.